Vinley, subsequent to Mr. arrest on this charge, were you aware of the recording of the incident being available on YouTube?
Objection. That's not within the scope of the cross-examination. And
well, it may or may not be. I'm going to allow, overruled for the moment, I'm going to allow Ms. Rango to go ahead until we understand the full intent or import of the question. Go ahead.
Officer Vinley, were you aware of a recording of the incident being posted on YouTube?
After the incident, yes.
Yes, after the incident. Okay. And did you hear the recording when it was on YouTube?
I heard and saw that there was a slideshow type thing attached to the audio recording.
Okay. And and how soon after the incident did you hear and view this?
About, estimated a week or two after it was brought to my attention by a coworker.
Okay. And have you again heard that recording today?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess I'm going to ask that this be marked as Cities 1.
And
Court's indulgence.
And I object, Your Honor.
Well, Mr. Rango, it does appear to be rather significantly beyond the scope of the previous direct and cross-examination. So where are we going with this?
Well, Your Honor, it's further testimony and redirect with regard to the events of the incident. So I think it's exactly what the cross was talking about.
What is the content of the item?
Your Honor, I'll proffer to the court that it's a recording of the incident
Made by
that we're
whom?
talking. It appears to be made by the defendant.
All right. Ms. Hearn, you have further in support of your motion?
Yes, Your Honor. There's no evidence whatsoever in this record how that recording was obtained, who made it, where it came from, whether it's authentic, whether it can be certified. It's simply an electronic YouTube, which is all over the airwaves. We have no idea the source of it, and
Well, I'll overrule the objection for the moment. Those foundational matters obviously need to be established. All that Ms. Narango has requested so far is that it be marked. Having heard what the supposed content is of it, it may be within the scope, although probably should have been mentioned before now, but I will overrule the objection and allow Ms. Narango to go ahead with the foundational matters.
And Your Honor, being not quite technologically savvy, I'm just concerned about the recording being able to play. As far as it being marked, would it be possible?
Well, we can mark it independently. Let's consider it marked at this time. The prosecution's evidence marked for identification number 1. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we'll attach it to another piece of paper or something and consider the marking done in that fashion. Go ahead with whatever conversation you're having.
I just wanted to make sure she had an opportunity to view the
Have you ever heard or had access to this item before, Ms. Hearn?
yes, and Your Honor, the reason I object, and I could order the witness, he has no idea if it's been edited, if it is complete, if it has everything that happened at that stop. He has and who edited it or where it came from.
Well,
and that's the questions I would forward.
And I am prepared to sustain your objection, subject to foundational testimony, which I assume Ms. Narango is going to pursue before we hear it.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right.
And and I understand what you're saying. Officer Vinley, you said that you heard the YouTube recording soon after the incident. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And have you again heard that recording from YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you hear that recording?
I heard it, the first time I heard it, like I said, was approximately 1 or 2 weeks after the incident, and the most recent time was in the victim witness office about 3 hours ago.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to view it and listen to it in its entirety as far as the recording that's on that disc?
As far as the file on this disc, yes, I had an opportunity to watch it from start to finish.
Okay. And, sir, first of all, did it comport with your recollection of the YouTube video that you heard 1 to 2 weeks after the incident?
Yes.
Okay. And also, does it comport with your recollection of the incident on December 18th, 2010?
Yes.
Okay. And is it a fair and accurate representation of the incident that occurred on December 18th, 2010?
I believe so.
You know, this is new to the Midway City one.
Let me just ask one more time. Still not sure I'm totally clear. Who made this recording? Is it a CD or a DVD?
It's, I believe it's a DVD in the sense that it has a slideshow, and
Oh, okay, so
again, I have
it
to
has
say ignorant.
visuals as well as audio.
Right, and it's, I don't think I can play it in a CD player, it's gotta be on a computer. So that's how I distinguish between the two.
Okay, I understand that
Totally
part of it.
I'm not
And
disputing that.
once again, just back to the basics, who is it that produced this, or made it?
Made the recording
Yeah.
itself,
The original one, I understand something else has happened to it subsequently, but...
what is verified by the content, and I'll proffer this as, so certainly later, according to the audio, is being made by the defendant as the incident is happening.
Okay, and who, what is the chain of custody here, do we know?
As far as the recording being made,
The CD or DVD, whatever it is,
that was simply recorded at my office and put in the file.
but the original, though, what...
The original file is not in my possession, Your Honor. What originally...
How did you make
From
who copied this?
Eric Aquist.
Okay,
From the
Eric
City Attorney's Office.
Aquist, for the record, is an assistant in the City Attorney's Office, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. So at some point, he had access to it and recorded it, re-recorded it, copied it, and you have had custody of it since then.
That's correct, Your Honor. It's been in the city's file.
All right, and Ms. Hearn, I'm sure you want to say something.
Yes, Your Honor, I object, and I would like to ask a few more foundation questions of the,
Okay, I'll consider this voir dire of the witness pertinent to the recording, and lay your foundation for objection.
Do you-
So good.
do you know the source of that recording?
I'm sorry, say it once more?
Do you know the source, where that recording came from?
The one that I listened to prior to today and the one that I had seen previously was from YouTube.
And what was the address on YouTube?
I'm sorry?
The address on YouTube, how would you get to that recording?
I was told to query it as suspicionless DUI stop or something like that. If I typed that in the YouTube search bar, it would come up, and it did.
And did anything on that address tell you who prepared that particular site on YouTube? No. Is every single statement that occurred that evening contained in that DVD, CD, whatever?
Is every single statement that happened during the encounter on that?
Yes.
I don't know.
Your Honor, I would ask that it be not admitted, stricken.
And the legal basis is what?
Your Honor, electronic data is very, very difficult, and I understand that. But number one, you have to know the source and who produced it if you're going to use it. Number two, it has to be accessible so that everyone knows the production of the video and if it's accurate. And of course, there's no way to verify that in this situation. Thirdly, there is no way to determine if it is complete. And of course, that's more prejudicial than probative if it is not complete, and so that we do not know the entire circumstances and what occurred. Therefore, I would ask that it be stricken.
Well, Ms. Rango, are you offering it now and intending to use it, or what are you intending to do with it?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to play it. As far as the defense counsel's objection, I believe that Deputy Finley's testimony, that's a fair and accurate representation of the incident, is sufficient to lay foundation for the content of the recording. With regard to the question about whether or not it picks up every statement that's made, I think that's a question that could be asked of Deputy Finley, but his testimony is a fair and accurate representation of these events. And based on that, I do think it's relevant. Just one thing, with regard to its source, I think that's analogous to who took the photograph and things like that. When a witness can testify, even if they didn't take the photograph, that's a fair and accurate representation of the of either an injury or whatever it is it purports to depict.
All right, we've gone around several more times. It's your motion or your objection, Ms. Hearn. Do you have anything further?
Yes, Your Honor. The reason completeness is very, very critical is because already we have elicited testimony that there were more than 10 officers that were surrounding this vehicle asking for compliance. And the issue here is whether or not the defendant complied. And that's the reason it's prejudicial, because it will show one part of non-compliance as opposed to the entire picture. And I would ask that it be stricken as being prejudicial.
I'm going to overrule the objection. It is admitted, obviously, for whatever relevance it may have, and that relevance will be limited to what it purports to portray, which the court recognizes as not being necessarily the entire incident or a recording of all who may have participated. And further, that goes to the issue of relevancy. Further, based upon that ruling as to its admissibility, the particular weight to be given to it, therefore, is yet to be determined as well, subject to further testimony on either side.
Thank you, Your Honor. Court's indulgence just to get this to play, and then if maybe the counsel wants to step forward and say